we've just launched Cyclops' NX, as the French call it, dinghy, with her monstrous e-propulsion motor. And we're dropping 137 watts as we begin the exploration of the Ile Glenan. The plan for our Navy SEAL attack of this beach has yet been given to us by our commander. Et voilà, dans le sable. Ouh, c'est un peu froid. Bienvenue. Everybody is now leaving. I'm wondering what Gail said to them.
Or is it because it's raining and we're the only dopes that show up at a beach when it's raining, says Gail. La mouette, il arrive.
Okay, Gail was right. Weather sucked. Probably shouldn't have done this mission, but when the Navy SEAL commander calls, Cyclops responds.
This is the kind of video that does not sell boats. But it's a little rainy today. You can see our anchor. We got a little one-legged bridle holding the chain nicely. Or maybe not perfectly. Still learning how to do that on this boat. And, oh my God. Who's this guy? Right in the middle of paradise. And the first Furling Fairlead is right here. And on another JPK 39, it's up here. When I say up here, it's in the beginning of the bow pulpit. And so guess what? This guy is moving. Up forward to this one. I still don't love it. It's a perfect time to test the Genoa furler. It's still rubbing against that silver piece a bit. I may replace it with blocks. Genoa furler, change sides, go down port, and have the staysail go down starboard. Why is it blowing across the boat? But I'm at anchor. Shouldn't I be head to wind? Ah, but the joys. Current. And it is pumping hard. It's bringing a whole bunch of seaweed and jellyfish and kelp. Boat's saying to itself, hey, do I want to go head to wind? Nah. Do I want to go head to current? Nah. I'm a compromiser. I'm going to do halfway because the anchor chain doesn't kind of go out nicely and straight to the boat. But good news is I have this huge ugly bow fender which is saving the gel coat and we're rolling. But the joys of owning a monohull. Back in catamaran days, this was a rarer thing. Maybe I'll move to the dinghy. She knows to sit head to wind. I'm very sorry this happened. It's my fault. Our wonderful anchorage became a horror show. And there's some swell that's coming in. Maybe it won't show up terribly well on camera, but it showed up all night. So we are leaving at first light here. The boat has just been a nightmare. Maybe I can show you by the mast, but it has this auto balancing feature on this boat, on this camera. Oh, diggy diggy. There you go. That's the thing that we used to see on monohulls and go, how do they do it?
Good morning, Gail. Give us a rundown on last bit. Great night's sleep?
It felt like taking the red eye on a very turbulent flight.
So 0 hours of sleep.
Probably an hour.
And then we weighed anchor, usually a pretty easy operation. Any hiccups along the way?
At the last kind of meter or so, there was a lobster pot attached to our anchor chain.
So we freed the lobster pot.
But it didn't want to go free, it stayed on our anchor. So we had to do operation number 2 to get it off.
And did we get any crabs from the lobster pot?
No.
But we were free. No damage to us.
No damage to us.
And what are we doing now?
Now we're going to find another place to anchor.
Now we got a crazy good looking sunrise going on. Let's see if I can get a good view of that. Oh, come on, that's amazing. Ça marche pour un bateau qui fait 11 mètres point 7 ici? où tu as appris français, anglais?
À l'île d'une usine industrielle.
Weighed anchor and picked up this mooring ball. And Gail was amazing. I drove up to the ball and she was able to get over the top sides. I wanted to do it in reverse, but she said, no, let's go forward. And it worked really wonderfully. And here's Gail in action. This is what she had to do while the boat was coming up. Sort of incredible. That's how you did it? You just throw it through like that?
Yeah.
This is our alleged safety gear. As there's a bit of current in this anchorage, and it is cold as hell. It's actually not too bad. It's nice to have a wetsuit though. It's cold. V-berth's in disarray now, and the reason is I'm going to check to make sure there's no water by the thruster. Now, I did that check previously, and the reason is last season we had a faulty thruster and it was letting water into the bearing. But you know, the biggest thing I've learned about boats is the more you crawl around and look, the earlier you can find faults and their causes aren't so severe. So a little hand check down here, dry as a bone. Now, wouldn't it be great if I could hire a crew to sit down here and tell me if it was getting wet? And here we go. I've talked about this before. Cheap Amazon water sensor. So I'm going to install that. You just glue it on to the side of the thruster or something like that. And this little end of it, yikes, this little end of it, if it gets wet, makes a shrieking loud noise. Okay, so if you are qualified to operate two-sided tape and can install a 9-volt battery, you're good to be a water sensor electrical technician. Now this is the battery that is used for both the thruster and also the windlass. And so there is the relay that I can remotely allow this battery to start working. And the relay is going on and off, but it gives a little bit of an error on seasonal. And I think if I were to change the relay to a more name brand one, that problem might go away. But I got some work to do to figure that out. As an aside, over there is where I can turn on and off the breaker for the windlass.
Hey, Jason is now the master rower, rowing us to shore. Not sure which shore he's taking us to, but we'll find out.
Taking a long way there.
Okay, we have come to a shore.
Hey, make sure we don't get caught in the surf. My job is to keep us dry. Shall we go left or right?
Right.
Excellent. The question is, the tide's coming in now, and there's a sandbar that sort of protects us. And now that sandbar is going to get buried underwater. Will it get bumpy? So our solution? Go for a walk and avoid the bumpy. Do you like that solution?
Yep.
And you're wearing the vest still?
Yep.
There's a cute restaurant here in Port de Saint-Nicolas de Glenan. It's striking the boat. So join me, and I'm going to go tighten up the bow a bit more and see if we can get this ball away from us. So we don't really have a lot of slack in our ball. Ball has not gone away. That's not damaging the boat, but inside the boat it sounds like we're being attacked by the angry horde. I have to figure a way to get this to go away.
Now, who's that hanging out just outside our port light? That's the evil mooring ball that was bashing us earlier. He's fled, but don't worry, he'll come back later tonight. To fend off the mooring ball was to lie our deflated dinghy across the back of the boat. I really enjoy the pitter-patter of the rain. Almost no breeze.